Hey everybody, it's Pat Cohan here in Lake Conroe, Texas at the Margaritaville Resort in the 6th annual THSADA Spring Sponsor Showcase. In this special Director's Cut episode, we're going to take you inside the event so you can see what it was like at the show. Some of the sessions included building positive relationships between the athletic department and district leaders, student-athlete leadership council sessions, building frameworks for new coach onboarding, and of course the UIL made an appearance helping ADs stay on top of all the policies and procedures. Another big component of the Spring Sponsor Showcase was the Quad A, Aspiring Athletic Administrators Academy, where they went through sessions on securing and acing your next interview, transitioning from coach to athletic administrator, and a mentor meet and greet where they got to meet their mentors and understand how they can help them through the process of getting to that athletic administrator role. Here at the Director's Cut Desk, we got to interview Hall of Honor inductees, middle school ADs, aspiring ADs, and some that have been in the position for years, all with the goal to grow the amount of content available to association members throughout the year. This episode is jam-packed with some of the best clips from this event, but before we dive into those clips, we do want to thank our partner in this episode, and that's LED Partners, putting together this beautiful desk and LED board just for this event. They were able to roll it in, set it up in less than an hour and a half, and here we are presenting live from this event in this beautiful backdrop. If you're interested in creating a custom mobile LED solution, make sure to check out LED Partners. Thanks so much for joining us, and we hope you enjoy this THSADA Director's Cut.
I need you to understand this, that doing this work, and this hits on multiple levels, you as an athletic director can't lead or implement the Texas way alone. You've got to have a team in your office, your head coaches, your assistant coaches. It takes your players. It takes a community there on campus to make the Texas way come alive. And the same thing is true when it comes to improving the quality of sportsmanship and strengthening our communities through the Texas way. We need those in our community, the business leaders, the faith communities. We need those who step and live outside of education to be a part of this. Why? Because last I checked, we can't get parents to show up to a 50-minute athletic period. Last I checked, community members who just show up to games aren't signing in and logging in and watching the Texas Way videos. You see, we don't have a control and we don't necessarily have direct connection with everyone in the community. But when we are able to bring community leaders in, they can impact people that we can't.
If you're sitting in an interview and you don't know what your coaching staff needs, or you don't know what your coaching staff values, or what is going to help build up your program, and you're not starting that from the interview process, then you're missing a moment to connect with those coaches. Are you looking for someone to lead your team to the next state championship? Are you looking for someone who's going to come in and just be able to be a support role? What are they going to be doing on your campus? We always ask questions that are like, what does success actually mean to you? Because what we're doing at Caney Creek and what they're doing at Grand Oaks are two very different things. And so it's, can you find that person that's going to mesh well within your system, and being very aware of what that is. We find that coaches are leaving the profession a lot. The demands on coaches these days are so high, and all of the extra things that you're having to do other than just coach X's and O's, right? If I was just coaching X's and O's, this would be an easy job, but you're dealing with all of the other things, the stress, the dealing with the mental health issues, the parents, the opportunities that they have to go to other places. So starting that from the very beginning and the onboarding process is huge. Some reasons that coaches leave: they don't feel supported. They don't have good mentors. You have coaches coming onto your campus that have never coached before. You have coaches coming onto your campus who've maybe been coordinators somewhere before. You have no idea what's going on. And so being able to reach those people and give them each individually the support they need is huge.
You've got to make sure when you're looking for that next role that three things align. Not only does it need to be for it to be the right position, does it need to be the right place? You should be philosophically aligned with that athletic department and with the school district and its vision and mission and its leadership. But you also need it to be the right time. Is it the right timing for you, for your family? And then is it the right position? And that's what we were talking about a couple of slides ago. Is it, you've really got to investigate within yourself if this is the right position and the right pathway. Maybe you could get the job, but you know you really need a few more years doing something different first. And maybe you have an opportunity, but it doesn't feel right, or it's not the right timing because you've got some other things that you're grappling with, whether it be health or family or otherwise. Okay. So new opportunities will come along. Don't be scared to make a change, but make it purposefully is really what I would say.
Every campus is required to nominate one student athlete from their athletic program to be part of the student athlete leadership team. Every single varsity program is required to give me a name. Not only a name, but an email address, a phone number. Sometimes I ask for mom and dad's name. I look them up on Rank 1. I want the information for that athlete. It's required. That's where this starts, is with that SALT program. And from the SALT program, those athletes are your leaders on your campus. From there, those exceptional people, we select 2 from that group of leaders to be part of the Student Athlete Leadership Council. These 4 athletes here are part of that council and have been so for the past 2 years. The Leadership Council then meets regularly with the athletic directors, the athletic team, with myself, and we meet on a regular basis. We have meetings, we have a focus point, we set goals, and what is really important is that we implement those goals. We don't only just have great ideas, but these people next to me are the ones implementing them on their campuses, and that's what really separates this council from just a leadership program, a conference that we go to once a year. This is something that we do all year long.
At the beginning of the year, I give statistics to our coaches, and this one is really important, and I want y'all to check this stat next year when you go to your schedules. But every week, 50% of all teams that play each week lose. It's true. 50%. And that stat has remained consistent every single year, right? It doesn't change. So it's impossible to say that we're only going to measure the success on wins and losses. And that means that we have to fire half the coaches in the year, every single year, if we're going to go by that, right? And so how we measure it a lot, yes, we like to see success. And a lot of times the culture and what we do gives that success. But we look more in really how the kids respond. How do the kids play for this coach? What are the numbers like? And even that's skewed some, because if you're in a community that plays tennis more than this one, then you're going to have higher tennis numbers than they are going to have over here. But this may have higher football numbers than this one's going to have. But we look at the retention of coaches. You know, are your coaches behind you? Typically, if you're a coach that gets after it, does the right things, treat kids the right way, and your coaches are growing, you don't hear a whole lot of bumping behind it with coaches. You don't. They're going to be behind you and supportive will do that. When you have a lot of that chatter, and every year we're having 7 and 8 coaches leave, then we look and say, okay, here's something that's going on there that whatever initially drew these coaches into this now are making these coaches scatter. If you're looking at the best kids that are really having success in these programs and then they're leaving, then those are the things that really that we really hold the standard to for all our programs, how they look.
You have to have a heart for this job, not just the heart for the part that happens in between the lines or on the court. I'm a firm believer that, unfortunately, even as a coach myself, I found myself being very hypocritical of kids. I'm being a hypocrite because in the weight room, I'm calling him out for doing 6 reps instead of 8 and telling me he did 6. We've all done that, right? But then fast forward an hour and a half later, I'm sitting in my geometry class and I'm just handing out a worksheet and I'm going to sit behind my desk. That piece of it can't happen. Like, you can't flip on a light switch of caring about kids, wanting to give your best, and all you have to improve all of our kids just when you're on the football field or just when you're on the baseball field, and then it shuts off when you walk into the classroom. I want coaches that have the same passion and desire to impact kids in the classroom as they do on the fields.
Now what we're looking at here is homeschool versus virtual school. So homeschool, I think you understand that because a kid's virtual doesn't mean they're homeschooled, okay? Homeschool kid needs to be in an accredited homeschool program, all that stuff, right? And if they're coming to participate with you because your campus allows it, your school district allows it, well, then they go and they can participate there. That's their avenue, right? And if you don't, they can go to the next place that's closest and then go with them. All right, so they have an avenue. So now the questions comes into play. We have more and more schools that are going to virtual for the reasons that we don't particularly like, okay? And I could probably go on record here, right? Ouch. We're trying as much as we can to build up community involvement, community athletics, and then we're heading in a direction of virtual, don't need to be in my school kind of thing. But we get the numbers games. It's the same thing I asked when I asked how come we don't play with Diamond Baseballs at State and we play with Baden because they're our official sponsor. And all it took was one statement. I'll give you 850,000 reasons why. I was like, I got it. We're good. So we see the avenue of virtual schools and trying to get attendance to come, and do, so you can keep kids and you can get them to come to you. But now it makes your life a lot difficult as athletic directors to figure out, are these kids eligible at your campus? Right? Are they eligible at your campus? One of the biggest thing is you're only eligible where you live. If you're not physically in school, at a school, then you're only eligible where you live. Okay? Understand that. And in order to be eligible at a campus and you're virtual, you have to physically go to school as a full-time student, which the definition of that is 4 hours of instructional time. Okay? That's the only way. So, if a kid goes to San Antonio and they live in San Antonio, but they're taking a virtual course in, let's say, Gonzales, Texas. They're taking virtual courses over there. Well, they'll never be eligible athletically in Gonzales unless they physically go to that school for 4 hours or more. Never. But they could be eligible back at their attendance zone, if their attendance zone lets them, right? You still got that option.